You've not even reached your prime. You still have lots of time. Try and open up your mind and leave unhealthy ways behind. The processed food that's being sold is making you feel so old. And when it finally makes you ill, your doctors just prescribe you a pill. You must admit it's very slick. They sell you foods that make you sick. Instead of letting you just die, they sell you drugs to keep you alive. They sell you foods to help you diet. They offer hope to make you try it. The real answer is something cheaper. Listen up, let's beat the Reaper.
I don't think anybody that is extremely over or is overweight at all, when they look in the mirror in the morning, like what they see, they don't want to be that way. We got to help them. We got to help them. And we're going to help them by teaching them what not to eat, teaching them how to eat, become independent, and process their own food. Take the raw product, put it together, and make it just as delicious as adding sugar to it.
Sure.
And yeah, I just believe we can get this done. I really believe. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind we can get this done. The problem where I started, I had a few people that shocked me when they followed this process, and so that made it worse. That reinforced my thoughts in the process of what we were doing, and I know, take me out of this as I know some people really changed their lives, and are really thinkers now, and that's what it's all about. For me, this is not a jag. This is being content, and that's a big deal. So
good. We're here on Birth of Us, outside of CrossFit Instinct in Springfield, Illinois, with Mike Suhldolnik. He has put together a study with members of the gym to test the effects, study the effects of intermittent fasting.
yes.
Mike, why are you doing this?
This, first of all, fasting's not on the table. If anything's on the table is eating and overeating. And I knew a long time ago that I had the things in my body to take care of myself. And really, I really didn't like going to doctors, because I really believed whatever was wrong was going to come along and work its way out. Though I was miserable and ended up going to the doctor and gotten it taken care of. But those are symptoms. And I've read enough and watched enough different films to start really investigating not eating. And not eating meaning you got to eat, but then you got to give your body a chance to take care of itself. It's got to repair. It's got to cleanse itself. And I found out I lost weight, and I was just as strong. I had good mental acuity, and I've been in the role of running businesses and being leaders and getting people to believe in themselves. And I had access to the people that are in our gym. And got, I believe, 9 to start with, and now we have 50. And that wouldn't happen if they didn't have some success.
Right.
And but what I have to do is keep them on top of it. And so every day I spend, I hate to even admit this, sometimes 3 hours trying to write 200 or 300 words that have content,
Sure.
that have some meaning to it, have some reflection on who I'm writing to, and then put that on in a form of a fax and send it out at 3:30 in the morning. And I do it then because I demand priority. This is their health. Their health is their number one thing. And that's really what this is all about. You know, we want people to be healthy. And that's not the trend now. If anything's happening, you know, we have this tsunami of all kinds of bad things happening. And what's being used is medications that just address the symptoms and not really what the root causes are. When people go to find out what's wrong, what they want immediately is to stop sniffling or to get rid of that headache. And not much time is spent, well, why do you have a headache? Let's look over what's going on. And then it is rare that somebody says, what are you eating? And the reason it's rare is because not too many people really know about that.
Sure.
And you know, so, and not only that, go back to why you asked about getting people and starting out where we're getting to. I have absolutely no reservations. This is going to grow and grow big. And the only requirement really have is behavior modification. There are no pills, no magic shakes, nobody to be responsible to. Kind of being forced to read and read good stuff, and then look back and see how you've changed. And when you do that and you take inventory of that, you're pretty motivated. You're pretty happy. So,
and worked into your program is a way to quantify what's happening for everybody and getting feedback through the InBody.
yes, yeah.
And we're gonna go to Dr. Mack's office and take a look at the InBody in a little bit.
That was a major breakthrough. Buying this piece of equipment that measures, you know, I know we can tell how big our belly is, our butt is, but we don't really know where the really the really bad fat is, and that's the fat that's around the organs. Okay, and he has this piece of equipment that in 2 minutes tells us how much fat we got around our heart, kidneys, liver, and so forth. And because of exercise, now that fat, if we exercise and what are we eating, not eating any processed foods, not eating processed foods and staying away from sugar, which means we don't have any dairy and we don't have any grains. That fat is the first fat to leave. That we can become pretty doggone healthy pretty quick. Okay. And the program I try to run is based on 90 days. And this last 90 days, we saw where people within 30 days had made phenomenal changes. And when they get measured, that doctor doesn't have to say to them, you're fat, because they're reserved and they don't want to shame anybody, whatever that means. And I don't know, sometimes people need to be shamed. Not maliciously, but made to change. So in the 90 days, we measure how much that visceral fat goes down. That's that fat around our organs. We find out whether, because we're working out, our muscles increased or decreased. Typically, they increase. We find out what their body weight, has that changed? Has that gone up? Has that gone down? And yes, we find out how many sizes of dress have decreased, or pant size have decreased. And, there's about 5 criteria that we base this on. And this last time, we only I let people in as we went along. And the report that I'm doing is just going to involve 14 people. And those are the people that have met all this criteria. And that is irrefutable. You know, I'm a statistician, really, and you know, double-blind studies and all this. I don't have time for that. We have a crisis on our hands, and we have solutions to it. I mean, when somebody drops from a very dangerous, critical level of fat around their heart and kidneys and liver and so forth to a safe level by a third party, a piece of equipment, nobody's going to argue with that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to argue with that.
I have to admit, when I had my first in-body and was told by Dr. Max that I was pre-diabetic, I was a little insulted because I never consumed sugar. I have a very, very healthy diet, and it just made no sense. But the component of your whole program, the educational component, has really, really given me insight into the role of insulin and obesity. And even though I have 40 years as a healthcare practitioner, this is new knowledge.
Really, the issue of the involvement of insulin in the production of body fat is relatively new. That's kind of been around, but it's not been in the forefront. And that's really the basis of our program. And why fasting? We try to shut down eating so that our system cleans out the sugar and no longer produces insulin. And as long as you're not if you're not eating, you're not producing insulin. Okay? And what does insulin do? Insulin takes the glucose out of your blood and either uses it for energy or stores it for fat. So if you're not eating, your insulin's you're not using that hormone. So your body still needs energy because you got to breathe, your heart's beating, you're thinking, you're digesting, you're circulating, you still need energy. And that energy is going to come from stored fat. That's what cleans us up. It's not the secret, but it's the key issue. And then, of course, not eating processed foods. That's something that's got to change. People are going to have to learn to think, and are going to have to learn to process their own raw food into edible food.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mike, for sitting in with us here.
My pleasure.
This is an exciting new journey that we're all participating in. And I want to talk to some of the people that have been on the program for 90 days and just find out their testimonials. So
that's perfect.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.